Good afternoon, folks. I hope you are well. It's been a while. I've been somewhat remiss. I've not done a video for this channel for quite some time. Anyway, I've taken delivery of a new watch today, which I'm going to unpack now. So it is another Seiko. Running out of space here. So I did actually have a Breitling for all of about an hour or two and returned it for various reasons. So no video for that on that watch. But instead, I decided to divert most of the funds that I'd put away on my watch fund, that I'd put away for the Breitling. I decided to redirect those funds for other priorities that I've got currently in family life, namely that my son is getting married. So although this was dedicated to watches, it was a watch fund, so to speak. Anyway, in the end, I spent about a third of the money on this watch and the rest is going towards the wedding. So I think ultimately, from a priority perspective, that's probably the best thing to do. So this is a watch that I've been eyeing up for a while, but I just didn't get it because I was getting the Breitling, which kind of superseded that. So instead, I've gone for this watch now. So that's the outer box. This I purchased this retail from a store up in Scotland, and I don't know if it's the sort of stock kind of display model or whatever, but the price was amazing. It wasn't quite half price, but it was a big chunk off the retail price. So I was very happy with that. We've got the card, and there's the dated yesterday. So we got the full set. And here's the box. It is a Save the Ocean. There's quite a few Save the Ocean watches at the moment. And this one is the 62 Mass. So this is the 62 Mass Save the Ocean, and it has that beautiful textured dial. I've had a watch before in the Save the Ocean series, in the sort of Marine Master shape watch, with this same dial but a much lighter color, same sort of blue but lighter. And I didn't keep that watch. It was a little bit too bright for me to wear every day, and there were some other issues with the watch, so I returned it. But this one is a darker one. It's a much more wearable color, and it's also 40mm. It's a little bit smaller, so which is the direction that I've been going in. The Breitling would have been a 42.1 diameter, and this is 40, or maybe 40 and a half, I'm not sure. So certainly well in keeping with the trends that I've been leaning towards, which is going smaller diameters. So very nice looking watch. It's the skin diver type of shape, so you've got the kind of the lugs which look like they extend out a little bit, but they actually turn down quite nicely. I don't have all the spec. You can find those online, but I think it's 12, just from memory. I think this is 12 or 13. I think it's 13mm. So not the thinnest watch in the world. It won't have a display back because it's a diver watch. Drilled lugs. I think that's 20mm, the lug width. And the lug to lug could be 47, but I'm not entirely sure. So it's brushed. Most of the case and bracelet are brushed. It has the dye shield coating, I believe, which is the sort of harder wearing coating on it. It does sort of dull the stainless steel a little bit, so that it looks a little bit like titanium. Not quite, but kind of halfway between your regular stainless steel and titanium almost. And so you can see the difference there, that polished bit and the brushed bit. The brushing is actually really, really nice. It's very directional. It's very sort of intended, as you can see. So you've got a radial brush running around the case. So it's not quite a cushion case, but it's almost. And then you've got the corners there. The bevels have been polished very nicely. I don't know if it's Aratsu polishing or not. But with the watches that I've got that do have Zeratsu polishing, the Zeratsu is usually the upper one is Zeratsu and the underneath one is not. I don't know if that's the case here. I don't know if that's Zeratsu. Could be. The bezel is, I believe it's stainless steel, the insert, and with some kind of coating on it, and that sort of dye shield coating on it as well. You've got a luminous pip. The main the main consideration that I need to give this watch before I start resizing it and making a final decision to keep it, because obviously it's bought online so I can return it if I want to, is I prefer ceramic inserts on my diver watches simply because they're scratch resistant. And although people talk about them being prone to shattering, I've never had that on any of my watches. I've had lots of ceramic insert watches, never had one crack, never had one chip or anything. So my preferred material definitely is ceramic, but I do have some watches which don't have it. So my baby Marine Master, the 127, I think SPB297, I think it is. That one has also a metal of some kind, and it's also got some kind of coating on it, but that is a glossy coating, whereas this is more of a matte brush. It's also got a circular sort of brushing on it. But the thing about this is it's slightly domed sapphire, and the sapphire is actually slightly boxed as well on the edge there, and you can see it's slightly raised above the insert, and also this stainless steel rim is also very slightly raised above the insert, so that might help protect it a little bit. As I say, I've got to give it due consideration. I'll probably make a decision at some point today, and at that point I'll resize the bracelet. This is a pin and collar system. I have no idea why Seiko think that that's a great idea. Pin and collar is such a tedious system, prone to loss. You know, the collars are very easy to lose. They're tiny little collars, and if they drop out, which they do, if you haven't done it at all before, you wouldn't expect it to. When you're taking a link apart, it drops straight out, and if that goes into your carpet or something like that, that's it, you're done. I've had that before, and I've had to get Seiko to send me out new collars, which they did, and they didn't charge me for it, which was very decent of them, but still, it's a hassle. I don't know why they can't do a simpler system, maybe a screw-in pin, something like that. I don't know why everybody doesn't do screw-in pins. They seem the most simple, practical, easy thing to do, unless they're worried that they will unscrew too easily and maybe the pins will drop out. I don't know, but if all the high-end companies can use them successfully, I don't see why Seiko can't. So anyway, so we have a fold-over flap, secure flap, and then you've got a trifold milled clasp. The top one is stamped, but that's mostly in order to keep it thin, although you do see some where they are milled. Certainly the brightening was milled, but it was a brightening. The fold over catch is signed, as you can see. That looks like it's sandblasted, so it won't stand up to polishing or anything like that, not much anyway. So it could have done with a bit of a deeper etching there. You've got a diver's extension. There you go, that's a diver's extension. This particular clasp, I've had it as well on a couple of watches. I'm not usually impressed with it. I do actually like the bracelet itself, solid links, oyster style, but a little bit of a rounded edge to it, which I actually think looks nice. It catches the light nicely. I do like that. It looks like it's good quality. I've always had an issue with the 62 mas, with this sort of relationship between the case and the bracelet, this whole sort of D-shaped lug aperture for the bracelet to go into. It's just an interesting, unusual style or design, shall I say. And it always looks like the bracelets just are not made for that particular watch. It just always looks, if you look at it, with intention, almost, it kind of suddenly starts to look a bit ill-fitting. But the overall look to me is absolutely fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. yeah, so the bracelet I do like. I'm just not a big fan of the buckle, the clasp. I find these are not as accurate. You see, the click is not as sometimes it's a bit soft, sometimes it's a good noise. It's a little bit, as I say, it's a little bit soft. It's not a very defined click, and you have to be lucky with Seiko. So I've kind of toyed with the idea of asking them if they've got another one, but I've got a feeling this is the last one. When I went online to look at their shop, they had no more. So I'm assuming this was the last one. And I don't want to send it back because the price was too good. But it would mean sending it back to Seiko and being without... I would just send them... I've just got done with sending 2 bracelets back to Seiko and having to wait about 3 months till I got them back. They did change the clasps free of charge on 2 of my watches. One was this King Seiko that I'm wearing now. They changed the clasp, and the other one was my Presage Classic Sensation. They changed the clasp on that one. So I just sent the bracelets in. I didn't send the watch heads in because I knew I'd be without them for a long time. So I just put straps on them while the bracelets were in. So ultimately, I can do that. It's brand new. It's bought retail, so I've got a full warranty on it. So I can wear it for a while, see if it settles in. If not, I'll send the bracelet in. So that is the 62 Mas Save the Ocean. And the actual code number is the SPB297J1. It's the Prospex Glacier Save the Ocean 1965 reinterpretation SPB297J1. What a mouthful. That's Seiko. There's lots of reinterpretations, interpretations, double reinterpretations. Lots of companies are doing that. They're doing a lot of retrospectives, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. This one I think is a very nice watch. I'm very pleased with the actual overall design. It's subtle enough not to be screaming at people that I've got a fancy watch, but it's nice enough to be just different from your run-of-the-mill watches. It's somebody who's in the know will see that it's a nice watch. So there we go. Hope that's been of interest. I do need to catch you guys and girls up with some of the other watches that I've acquired since the last time I made a video. We'll try and do that. Thanks very much. One other point is one of the things with Seiko is about the alignment. This one is perfectly aligned. It has got a very sort of, you can barely hear. It's quite a stiff bezel, and it hasn't got a very defined click. But one of the problems, in fact, with the Breitling was it was a beautiful click. I think it was a 120 click bezel, but it was so easy to turn that it's almost unreliable because it was so easy. This one at least is stiff, so it's you're not gonna, you don't need to worry too much about it moving on its own. Actually, the alignment is very slightly off. The alignment on these has never bothered me. Some people get very, very, very worried about it. So that's one side of it. One more click and it's slightly off that way. You can kind of turn it back and it's almost there, but it's not 100%. Anyway, but that's really never been an issue for me. The type of timing that I do with this is not life-threatening timing, such as scuba diving. This is more for timing my leg of lamb that's in the freezer, or my parking outside, making sure that I don't get a ticket. That's the kind of timing that I use this for. So slightly a hair off to one side of the 12 o'clock position is not the end of the world. Anywho, that's the box opening for this Save the Ocean 62 Mas. Hope you've enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one.